Okay, tonight I've got something new to show. This is something I've been working on in my spare time. The working title is just Project DT. This is go this is going to be a space strategy 4X game, which tries to do what other titles can't. I like Stellaris, but I always felt Stellaris fell short of what I wanted out of a 4X game. I also play some other Paradox games, and one day I made a truly terrible mistake of buying Victoria 3. It got boring so quickly that I got very angry, and I drew up plans for my own game out of spite to Victoria 3. It was around this time that I discovered The New Order, The Last Days of Europe, fell in love with it, even though it wasn't much more than a glorified visual novel, and thought maybe I could build on the New Order's formula. Now, the problem was my lack of coding experience. Eventually, I got to a state where I had a map of the Earth divided into a bunch of nations, and my goal back then was an alternate Cold War history game, strategy game, but then I decided I could do a whole lot better. And I combined my love of Stellaris and The Expanse, and I got a new idea that I would try to do a 4X game in space with features no one else dared to make. Stuff like ground combat, more base building, more realistic scale and combat and such. So let's see what we already have of this project so far. Now this is the main menu. I'm going to make a background and put 3 pictures in these slots here when I go to the art. And so here we have the nation select screen. The game loads countries from a JSON document outside the game, so you can mod it. But anyway, here's this little test nation. I'm going to have some information here. This is going to be a character portrait. This is the flag. I forgot exactly what these were. I think this one was for nation spirits or focuses, or maybe it was this one. But anyway, let's go look at the galaxy. And before we do that, I haven't created a nation. Sorry, I haven't created a galaxy or game difficulty menu for new games yet, but that is planned. So we're just going to go click on this. Got our little time setting up here. That's that's a bug I need to fix. Yeah, there's some bugs with the timer. Well, anyway, let's just go look at the galaxy. So this is two-dimensional right now, but it used to be three-dimensional, but then I made kind of silly decision to make it all 2D. Then I, of course, changed my mind. I will make this 3D again in the future when I get proper physical 3D stars and their visuals, but I don't have that yet, so I'm just putting that off for now. And got this little spiral shape here. Eventually, this core right here is going to be a bar instead of just a giant cluster, so that the stars aren't all clustered in the core. But let's go pick on one of these stars here. And I could definitely do a little bit of work with the camera. Okay. Yeah, I kind of messed up. Maybe this system isn't so good. Let's go try another one. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so I haven't gotten the star as a proper icon, but you can see the asset's already there. I just need to make it behave like these icons over here. So these are all planets, or they're all icons for planets. So they say the same size as you zoom out, so you can always see them. They also jitter a whole lot because of how far we are. That's floating point precision problems. But these are all planets. We got some gas giants, some terrestrial worlds, some ice giants out here. And so let's go in on one of them. Eventually, I'm going to have it so that you can just click on these icons and it'll bring you there. That'll be really quick to implement. You just need to go do it. But you click on one of these, and you zoom in and you get a planet. Now, this is this is what the planets look like right now. They're only got grayscale height maps, unfortunately. I could do better, but you can see from the icon what color and what amount of water it's supposed to have. Eventually I'll have that. Actually, let me try to find a better planet. Okay, so anyway, the way that these planets work is that they're generated with a combination of Voronoi noise and simplex noise, and that gives you the illusion that these are continental plates that have continental plate interactions, like these giant mountain ranges at this convergent boundary, or this right here is a divergent boundary. Now, I don't know why these are all just giant, ugly, flat plateaus. I've looked into the planet's mesh generation, and I can't figure out exactly why. I will do more troubleshooting on it. You will get better, more natural terrain in the future. I promise this. But you can see that we got mountain ranges where you would kind of expect them to be on planets with tectonic plates. And you got flatter areas as you go away from that and such. Hold on a minute. Oh, and the gas giants. Right now, these gas giants right here, they're nothing more than colored balls. I will have more in the future for them. I will try to make procedural gas giants with stripes and clouds and such, but it's the placeholder we have for right now. You can see everything is in a very rough sort of placeholder state. Like I don't even have the main, I don't even have the pause menu up. And like these up here, they're eventually going to be menus for useful stuff. But, all right, so oh, another word about the planets. They use. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can zoom in and get another one. Let's go to another system. Alright, so these planets, they use a level of detail system, as you probably just saw as we zoomed in. The intent behind this is that it's supposed to improve the performance, but as you can see from the lag spikes, we have a lot of work to do. This is probably one of the more interesting worlds out there. But, now, where are my plans again? Alright, yeah, plans for the future. Okay, so we got we're gonna have better terrain for the planets in the future. They're gonna have better environments. There's gonna be colors, flora and fauna, and atmosphere, oceans and such whenever they have them. There's gonna be ground combat. I like kind of like the combat from Hearts of Iron 4 more than I do from Civ 6, but I'm gonna try to get the best of both worlds. And these are planets, so combat on them is going to take years, if not decades. I don't want to bog the player down with micromanaging the fronts on several different planets for decades, but I do want it to be a choice for them to choose to focus on a particular campaign on a planet and micromanage that. But I don't want it to be necessary. I want it to be kind of like Distant Worlds, where you can focus on whatever you want and just have the AI do the rest if you want. And spaceflight and space combat, they're going to try to be realistic, like hard science fiction. There's going to be Newton's laws, and you got waste heat that you need to dispose of with radiators. And there's one game that does this called Terra Invicta that I thought it did it okay, but it was not very user friendly. If you go look it up and see what the combat is there, you can sort of imagine that, but I'm going to try to make it more user friendly. And the economy, it will be a very involved simulation like Victoria 2. That's the blueprint here. You're going to be building buildings on these planets directly, like actually place down a building from a menu and find a location on this planet here, place it down, click it, connect it up to roads and whatnot. And of course, you'll be able to bomb those buildings and those roads from orbit or with your troops or whatnot. And then for diplomacy, story, and espionage and other things, my models are mostly Victoria 2 and Hearts of Iron 4. For instance, there will be spheres of influence, focus trees for stories, cultures, unrest, and so on. And for the story, I've decided against having any aliens. Like, humans versus aliens is great, but I think it's overdone. And humans versus humans is a less explored niche. There's a really good anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which I think made me want to make this a space game instead of an Earth game. And it's my model for how to do human versus human science fiction really well. Though I promise you I'm not going to copy anything from Legend of the Galactic Heroes. And I'm not going to say much about the story after that. So anyway, that's all that I have for now. I'll probably make another one of these videos in about a month or two when I have something more substantial to show. Until then, I'll see you later.